Very good morning, students. We were doing graphical representation of data. We have learned about the various forms in which we can represent our data through various figures, right? Today, we will be doing histogram, frequency polygon, and frequency curve, right? So, we'll be discussing it one by one. Starting with the histogram. Histogram is a type of bar graph, students. You are given the frequencies, various frequencies are given to you, and you have to make a diagrammatical representation of it. Why you have to make the diagrammatical representation of it? Just because the presenter who is presenting it, it's easy to present it in diagrammatic form, right? And the reader who will be reading your information, right? He or she will be able to get the information in a very convenient way through the diagrams, through the pictures, right? So, all the companies, you can say about any institution, you can say about any organization, what they do in their prospectus, right, or in the memorandum. Now, what is memorandum? It's a legal book by law, right? They mention all the terms and conditions in the prospectus of their company, right? And what they do, why they mention all the things, because in case any XYZ company wants to purchase their shares, wants to invest anything into their company, right? They can first of all see their prospectus and look at into their prospectus and see whether how much the company is financially sound. If the company is financially sound, how it is visible? It is visible by the various diagrammatical presentations, right? Suppose there is a company ABC Limited, right? ABC Limited is a very well-known company. It has good earnings, it has good financial position, right? So, suppose ABC Limited wants to issue its shares, right? What will the company do? The company will, what will the company do? The company when will invite applications for its shares, the company will first of all make a prospectus, right? What is this prospectus? This prospectus, it's legal document according to the company, right? And in this legal document, all the information related to the company is given, like its financial position, whether the company is in loss or profit, because for the public, for the people who are going to invest into the company, they must know about the financial position first. Only then they can invest into the company, right? So all this information is given in a diagrammatical way. So that the viewer, who is the viewer? The public, the investors who are going to invest into the company, they can get the direct approach to the company's financial position through these various diagrammatical representations, right? Now, how they can easily get the company's information easily? Suppose the company has mentioned in 2019 the company's profit, the company's financial position was 80% better, right? So how this would be marked? The company can make any histogram, any bar graph, or any XYZ representation form can use, right? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 till 80. Suppose here is 80, right? So the company will make it here, right? Then suppose in 2020, the company has 20% profits only. So they will mark here. So with this picture, the investors who are going to invest into the company, they are able to get the financial position and they can easily invest afterwards, right? Because there is no barrier afterwards in their decision making, because from the graphical representation it's clear to them that whether they should invest in the company or not, right? So what is histogram? It's a type of a bar graph of a frequency distribution, right? It can be constructed for equal as in unequal class intervals. So histogram can be prepared for both. Then area of any rectangle of a histogram, you know that its shape is like this, right? You can say it bar, you can say it rectangle, right? So that's why they have written area of any rectangle of histogram is proportional to the frequency of that class, right? Okay students, now we'll be starting. When do we use histogram? So all of you must be aware about that. When data are given in the form of frequencies, then we use histogram, right? When class interval has to be displayed by a diagram, then we use histogram. When we need to calculate the mode of a distribution graphically, we need to use the histogram, right? Hurry up students, write down this statement. We are going to start the practical of histogram. Write down the statement students. Okay students, so we are now going to do the sum. In the statement, we have given the class intervals in height, right? And we have given the frequency. The various frequencies are as follows: 3, 2, 9, 7, 10, 5, 5 and 1. I hope this is clear to you. And we have the class intervals as height in centimeters, right? So now we'll be starting the sum. Okay students, so here we are taking the frequency, right? We have taken frequency over here, and here we'll be taking the height, right? So looking at the question, so we have first of all the class interval 155 to 160 and the frequency we have is 3. So can you see here from where we can mark 3, 2 and 3, right? So 3 is visible from here. I hope this is visible to you all students. So in the first one, I'm again repeating 155 to 160. The frequency is 3. So we will mark here. It's 3 over here, 2 and 3. So we'll mark here. We'll make a histogram here, and we will write here. The intervals are 155 to 160. Right? We have marked here 155 to 160. Now the next one is 160 to 165 and the frequency which is given to us is 2. It is this 2. So how we will mark here? This is, we will mark it like this. Right? So this is 160 to 165. Right? 165. Now the next interval is 165 to 170, that is 9. The next is 9. It can be here, right? So we will mark this like this, right? This is 165 to 170, right? Afterwards, it is next height is 170 to 175 and its frequency is 7. So this is 6 and here it would be 7. So we will come straight forward and we will mark here, plot here and we will make the histogram. Right? So it is 170 to 175. Is it clear to you all students? So yes, the next one is 175 to 180, that is 10. 175 to 180, that is 10. So this is 10, right? So we got it here. So we will make a histogram over here and write here 180. 175 to 180 interval. In this height in centimeters, right? We have marked 10 frequency, right? Afterwards, look at the statement. The next one is 180 to 185 is 5. 180 to 185 is 5. 5 would be here in between 4 and 6, that is here. So we will mark here what? 5. 180 to 185 is 5. Right? The next one is 185 to 190 is again 5. 185 to 190 is again 4. This is 5. So we will plot this absolutely here again. It is 185 to 190. 190. We have made this equal because both have the 5 frequency. Right? The next frequency we are given is 190 to 195 intervals. We have one frequency. Where would be 1? 0, 1 and 2. So 1 would be here. So we will mark it as this. This is 195. This is the histogram we have made. Okay. Here on the y-axis, it's given the frequency, right? And on the x-axis, we are given the height in centimeters, right? According to the statement, we have made this, right? We have in 155 to 160 class intervals, we have the frequency 3, right? Afterwards, in the next one, 160 to 165 intervals, we have the frequency 2, right? Afterwards, in 165 to 170, we have the frequency 7, right? So we have marked this histogram here. In the next intervals, 170 to 175, we have 7. We have marked here 7. Then we have 175 to 180, we have 10. So we have marked 10 over here, right? Afterwards, in 185 to 180 to 185, we have 5. We have marked 5 here, right? You can see this. We have made this histogram at 5. At 185 to 190, again we have the 5 frequency. So we have again marked over here, right? We have marked over here. Afterwards, at 190 to 195, we have the 1 frequency. So 0, 2 and this would be 1. So we have marked here 1 and this is our histogram, right? I hope this is clear to you all students. So yes students, the next graphical representation method which we are going to do is frequency polygon. Okay. So now what is a frequency polygon students? It's basically a type of a line graph which we have done earlier, right? It is a type of line graph in which we plot the points according to the frequency given to us, right? And if there are midpoints given, then again from the frequencies, right, which we have got, we can mark it and plot. We will do it practically also, right? We can construct it directly from a given frequency distribution. It is not essential that first of all we have to plot the histogram and then first to draw it, then we can do the frequency polygon. Okay? If directly the frequencies are given to you, again you can directly plot the points and make a frequency polygon. That is a type of line graph with the frequencies given only, right? So the next one is, when do we use frequency polygon? When data are given in the form of frequencies, as I've already told you students, when the data is given in frequencies, then we use the frequency polygon. Or when two or more groups have to be displayed in one diagram, then we use the frequency polygon, right? So whenever frequencies are given to us, we can make the frequency polygon directly. Now I want you all to get this statement from this slide. Then we will learn how to make the frequency polygon. All of you are required to write this down. We are going to make the frequency polygon as per the information given to us. Okay, so how we will make it? You know that we are given the height in centimeters to us, right? The height in centimeters is given to us. In the first class interval, the height is between 150 to 154. In the first class interval, the height is given to us in 150 to 154. And what is the frequency given to us is 10. The frequency which is given to us is 10. So we have made this graph, we have plotted the points accordingly. On the x-axis, we have heights in centimeters, and on the y-axis, we are having frequency on the y-axis, and we have plotted accordingly 5, 10, 15, 20, because the frequency given to us is accordingly 10, 15, 20, so that we can mark in between, right? So we'll be starting it. This is our, now the first one is from 150 to 154, the frequency is 10. So the frequency here is 10, right? So I will plot this point over here, right? And what I will write down, I will write here below this point 150, right? I will write down here 150 because it is between 150 to 154. So we will write here 150. The next one is 154 to 158. We have frequency 15. So the next frequency we are having is 15. This is 150. We are writing here below 115. We are writing here 154. Right? The next one, next class interval is 154 to 158 we have done, right? It's 15. The next one is 158 to 162. So we have 20. So we'll plot here 20. This is 20. We will plot here point. At the end we will join students. Okay? At the end we will join. So I hope it is visible to you all. And we will write here 158. Right, afterwards in the next class interval, it is given 162 to 166 and the point is 12. So where would be the 12? 10 is here, right, and 11, 12, right? So we can mark here 12. It is here. We got the 12 here and we will write here 162, right? And afterwards, students, in the next class interval, we are given The next intervals we are having is 166 to 170. 166 to 170, and what we have is, we have 8 frequency. The frequency is 8. So it can be here 10, 9, 8. So we can mark it here, right? Yeah, we can mark it here. And what's the interval? We can write here, the interval is 170. It's 166 to 170, right? 166 here, and this is here 170, right? So now we will make a frequency polygon. How we will make it? We will start it from the 0. Go like this. Just highlight the points more. Come here. I hope this is clear to you all till what we have made, right? I hope this is clear. See, students, we have started from this point, moved to 10, then 15 plotted, which we have plotted here, right? Then we have came here to 20. I think it was 12, right? Then we have 9. It is 9. Yeah, it is 9. Then move down, because the last interval ends at 170, right? So this is our frequency polygon. I will repeat it again. According to the class intervals, we have plotted all the points, right, students? Starting from the 150 to 154 are this point 10, 154 to 158 are points 15, then next 20, 12, 9, and at the end it ends at 170. So this is our frequency polygon which we have got. As I have already told you that we have given the various frequencies, and just we don't have to make any histogram here, we don't have to make any bar graph here, right? What we have to do is just we are given with the frequencies and we have to mark it on the graph. Okay? So this is frequency polygon, and students, mind it, you have to mark all these things on the graph. You have to plot all these things on the graph, right? So this is our frequency polygon. I want all of you to see it properly. So students, what we have done here, it's our frequency polygon, right? This is the frequency polygon. The next topic which we are going to start is frequency curve. The next topic is frequency curve, right? So why I have written frequency curve over here? Because I will tell you the difference between polygon and curve on one screen, right? So first of all, starting with its theoretical portion. So it is also a type of graphical representation of data, as we are able to know from the figure that in which height intervals we are having the maximum frequency. If I'll ask you students that under which class interval the maximum frequency is there, you can say directly 20. So, and it is given under 154 to 158. You will say, as it is given here, 20 is the frequency and it's under 154 to 158 class intervals. So with this, you are able to conclude it easily. That's why they say that it is required to make the data more convenient to the graphical representations. The various, they can be any frequency polygon, frequency curve, histogram, bar graph, line graph, etc. Right? So here, what is the difference between here? Here we are marking it with the straight lines. In the frequency polygon, we are marking it with straight lines, but in the case of curve, I will tell you it is marked with the curved one, right? With the various curves, we are marking here in the frequency curve, right? But in the case of frequency polygon, we are using the straight lines, right? So, when then top points of frequency polygons are joined not by straight lines but by curved ones. Frequency polygon is drawn using scale while frequency curve is drawn using a freehand. So, what we have done now, we have taken all the figures from the frequency polygon. We will also make from the same figures the frequency curve, right? The difference would be that it would be in curvy position, right? So we will be starting it now, students. Yes, students, as we have discussed now that there is a single difference only between the frequency polygon and frequency curve, that here we are making the curves, but here in frequency polygon we make straight lines through the scale. So with the same intervals and the same frequency and data, we are going to make the frequency curve here now. So make it with me and we will start it again according to this one. We are again making it. Right? So this is my graph. So here I'm plotting the x and y axis. Right? X and y axis are plotted. Right? So we have taken here the intervals, 5 intervals. So we'll also do here the same 5, 10, 15, 20. Right? So now we will make it according to this data. So in the first very interval, keep this thing in your mind that we are repeating the same statement, students, okay? We are repeating the same statement as we have made in frequency polygon, right? From the statement we have made this frequency polygon. From the similar statement we are going to make frequency curve now, right? So yes. So our first interval was 150 to 154. I'm writing here. Here our frequency was 10. So I'm plotting here 10. Right? So our frequency was 10. I have plotted here 10. So the next one was, look at your statement. It's 154 to 158 and we have 15 over here. So we will plot 15 here. Next one is from 154 to 158 class intervals and we have 20. We have 20. So we'll mark 20 here. Right? We have not written here, so it will be 154 again. And the next one is 154 to 158, so we will write 158 here. Right? So we have plotted the point 20. Right? You have to also plot it like this and highlight it so much. The next one is again from 152 to 156, 162 class intervals. So we have here the point 12. So above 10, 11 and 12. So we will mark it here. Right? So we are marking here 12. The next one is 162 to 166. 162 to 166. And what is the point we have given? The point we have given is, let me confirm it, it's 12. We have done 10, 15, 20 and then we have marked 12 and the last one is 8. So we will get the 8 here, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? 8. Right? and we will write here 170. So our class intervals end at 170. Right, students? I hope this is clear to you all. So in the similar way, we have here also taken it as, on the y-axis we have taken, the frequencies. So you can write here frequencies, and on the x-axis we have taken heights. We have taken height in centimeters, right? So now how we will plot this? As we have told that there is difference, that it is marked with the straight lines with the scale, and it is marked with the curvy lines, that is rough hand drawing, right? So how we will mark it, students? We will start it from here, right? I hope it is clear to you all. I think that you can see this, what I am marking. Yes, students? So we will mark it. So it is like this, then this, we will mark this, and we will end at this. I hope the frequency curve is clear to you all. Students, so this is the difference frequency polygon versus frequency curve. Right? Frequency polygon versus frequency curve. Same data we have taken here, same class intervals we have taken here, and the same frequency we have taken here. The only difference is this is marked with the straight line by using scale, and it is a freehand drawing of the curve, right? It is the freehand drawing of the curve, and what we have done here, we have freely marked the plotted point. I hope it is clear to you all. With this, our graphical representation of data is over. We have done this graphical representation. Now, we have discussed all the types of various graphical representation methods by which we can make our data more attractive to the viewers, right? We can make our data more attractive to the persons who are looking into our prospectus of the company. Through these various diagrammatical representations, we are able to attract the public, right? So this is all about the graphical representation of data. So we will come with the next topic in the next class. I hope this is clear to you all, students.